Okay, so the recording has started. Welcome to this webinar focused on the SWOT analysis and on the break-even point. As you know, both are compulsory elements of a business plan within the Erasmus for Young Entrepreneurs program. And this is why we've decided to make this webinar allowing potential new or would-be entrepreneurs to understand their use is important. First of all, it is important for them and for their future business. So we would like them to make use of these two elements when preparing their business plans. The first part will be dedicated to the SWOT analysis, and we will try to go deeper into this subject, which has been already presented during the last webinar on business plan creation. Well, let us first take a look at the learning objectives of the webinar, which are understanding what is a SWOT analysis, understand which is the aim of the SWOT analysis, why we need it, how to conduct it, which are the pitfalls, and which are the tips to correctly perform it. So the first objective is to understand what is a SWOT analysis. Well, it helps us have a more general perspective on the business, analyzing strengths and weaknesses, as well as opportunities and threats. This analysis is a useful tool, a basic tool, I would say, to be used by entrepreneurs or business persons. It also has applications in marketing management, for instance, or in other specific fields we will see later. Well, so what is a SWOT analysis? Well, the technique is credited to Alfred Humphrey back in the 60s and 70s, and it is a planning tool used as a framework for organizing data and information gained from the analysis of the own situation. SWOT, of course, is the acronym for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. The first two elements come from the internal environment of the business, while the last two come from the situational analysis of the external environment. In the following two slides, we will see them more closely divided per internal and external environment. So the strengths, well, you can see are the characteristics of the business which give an advantage, positive attributes internal to the organization. This is why we are talking about the internal environment, or some beneficial aspects. Weaknesses are those characteristics that place the firm in a disadvantaged position with respect to competition or to other factors, and are those aspects that jeopardize somehow the attainment of the goal. These are aspects which do not help us meet the standards we feel we should meet, like we have limited financial resources or limited management skills or any kind of limitations coming from inside the organization. As I said, the other two slides will present the external factors we should consider, like opportunities, which are chances to make greater profits or to help our business grow, external attractive factors allowing our organization to further develop. Threats are again external, of course, to the organization and often beyond organization's control. Still, these elements have to be analyzed. We have to be aware of this, and if possible, try to have a backup plan, a plan B, as we often say. Now, let us have a look at the aim of the SWOT analysis. Well, the SWOT exercise is useful to help decision makers share and compare ideas, understand which are the strong points as well as the areas for further development. The SWOT analysis allows for linearity in the decision-making process and helps us taking into consideration other factors as well. Basically, not only entrepreneurs need SWOT analysis, but also business units, as this tool is also used for product launch or for the evaluation of the competition, for instance. As you can see, it is an analysis which can be used for several aspects. Well, moving to the practical side, in order to conduct a SWOT analysis, you need to establish the objectives, which can be general, like the entire business, or specific, as you can see, the product launch. You need to analyze internal and external factors, then list the SWOT, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Prepare the action plan, and try to understand what you should do now as a priority, which are the things that you should further evaluate before taking a decision, and the things that you should plan in the future. We should keep in mind during the entire process that the SWOT analysis can be very subjective, and that two people rarely come up with the same SWOT. Try to be as objective as possible, and try not to disguise weaknesses. This is one of the pitfalls, the major pitfalls of the SWOT analysis. SWOT is also created somehow to simplify the environment, and therefore it's important to write down all the aspects and consider them when preparing the action plan. Otherwise, it's easy to overlook key strategic information. Here, however, you have some tips. So, in order to be effective, SWOT needs to be conducted regularly. And you have to be analytical and specific, so write down all the information, trying to keep everything into the picture when you perform the SWOT analysis. You need to be open to change and think out of the box. Understand the weaknesses and do not try to disguise them. So take a weakness for what it is and try to find a way to overcome this problem. And of course, then use the outcomes for the planning process. Well, this would be the presentation, which is a short presentation just to give ideas on how to conduct the analysis. I don't know if you consider this enough, and if you think that this would need any further explanation at any point. And of course, I'm open to question if you have any comment or questions on the presentation. I will just unmute your microphones. So that everybody can speak.
Okay, Anna, I'm Michaela, and
yes.
Thank you very much for the presentation. Do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, definitely.
Okay, because I have a question. Do you expect new entrepreneurs to also inject the action plan at the end of the SWOT analysis?
Yes, Mihaela. So the question, I couldn't hear you very well. The question was if I expect young entrepreneurs from the program to insert the action plan at the end of the SWOT analysis, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Well, yes. I mean, I would expect young entrepreneurs to use the SWOT analysis in order to understand their environment and in order to plan the actions they should take. I think it would be great to see that they take into consideration the SWOT further when they plan their business. But I do not mean an action plan, but consequential thought inside the business plan. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mihaela. Any other question on the SWOT analysis coming from others? Okay.